So welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream. I am Kino, if you're not aware. And today we're going to be going through the Soprano Iceberg. Now, if you don't know what an iceberg tier list thing is it's a collection of like fan theories, fan knowledge, kind of arranged like at the top is like the most like common kind of normie interpretations, and then as you go deeper down the iceberg, things start getting more and more weird. They get more esoteric. And kind of the idea is like most of the stuff is below the surface, just like an iceberg is. We'll be talking about what each of these descriptions kind of means, what they kind of mean in terms of like the community and stuff like that, and yeah, we'll just be having a good time. So please post like as many comments in the chat as you can. I love hearing from you guys, and yeah, we'll just jump into things here. So starting off at the top, like I said, these beginning ones are like the most like normie kind of entry level like opinions on the series. As we go deeper, things will get more progressively more esoteric. Hey, Soprano series, good to see you. You're always around in the Soprano community, which is always great to hear. Okay, so let's just jump into things here. So the first one we got up here is the therapy scenes are boring. Again, this is a kind of very entry level opinion. When you watch the show, you are drawn in by like the action and the mob stuff, but as you become like a connoisseur of the series, you really start to understand it like these slower, more dialogue heavy, emotional moments are really what makes the show great. That's not something a lot of fans typically think of the first watch through, but it really is the thing that makes the show great. So that's why it's at the top here, because basically it's like a wrong opinion. Next up, we have wannabe mob dudes who idolize Tony for being a tough guy. Yeah, so that is again a very common interpretation from first time viewers. Say like, oh my god, Tony's so cool, he's so masculine, I want to be like him. It's not just wannabe mob dudes, it's like a lot of people who watch the show. But again, as you peel back those layers, as you kind of really take in the show, you start to realize that one, you shouldn't want to be like Tony, just period. Like he's like a bad person. But even beyond just that, like Tony's not a tough guy. Like on the surface he is, but like underneath, it's not who he is, and that like contradiction is his whole character. It's why he makes these like stupid emotional decisions out of pettiness, out of like he lets things bother him. He's not the strong silent type. So again, this is like an incorrect interpretation of the series. So yeah, the therapy scenes are boring on first watch, but they're so important to the growth and development of Tony. I agree. I don't think a lot of them are boring too, to be honest. Like a lot of them, there's some great stuff in there. But again, I think like I don't like using the word normie because it's, I don't know, it's kind of pejorative. But a lot of people watching it are like, I want action, I want death. Which this is the next one here. Not enough murder. Again, The Sopranos is a slow show. Not a lot of stuff happens throughout it. But that's really what makes it great. And again, a lot of these things are like subconsciously the reason why you appreciate the show is because it does things like this. But your front brain basically is like it's looking for like the more normal stuff like action, violence, sex, all that kind of stuff to keep me engaged. But really, the reason why the show is so popular is because it speaks to something deeper down. So the next one we have here, the ending didn't make sense. Again, the ending is controversial. There's going to be some more points on this iceberg talking about the ending. But yeah, the ending, it's one of those things. I talked about that in my coverage of the final episode. All the pieces are there for me to explain what happens, which, again, controversial, I know, but I believe Tony dies at the end. the cut to black. If you're not paying attention, if you're just watching it straight through for the first time, you can just be like, what the heck is this? I don't get it. And you have to really think about it and like, look at the details before it. So a controversial ending, but again, one of the most memorable in all of television. So I'm glad they did that. The next point we have here, Tony should have whacked that character for being annoying. Again, this is not just on The Sopranos, but like a lot of TV shows in general. People really judge characters on like their personal like preference to it. It's why we'll see some points down here of like hating certain characters, but characters like AJ, right? I made that video defending him. People don't like his character because his character's annoying, but the thing about it is that like these characters are well written in how annoying and stupid they are. It's realistic, and so a lot of people are like, oh, I hate these characters. I just want to see Paulie and Silvio because they're so cool. But they don't realize that a lot of these characters like Carmela, Janice, AJ, even Jackie Jr. are written in this really annoying, horrible way because that is realistic and that's, how these characters would actually be. And so it really adds a lot of depth to them that the show is willing to not just portray them like, everyone's this badass, mobster, but no, these are realistic. Kids growing up in this environment are going to turn out a certain way. Only character I really wanted to die and hated was Melfi's rapist, Maya K. Yeah, that's another... I'm not saying you're wrong to have that opinion. I hate him personally too. But, the Employee of the Month episode, I think it was so powerful because we didn't get what we wanted. And I think, again, it goes back to this point, which is that, like, the show doesn't always give us what we want, but it gives us, like, these powerful, like, emotional moments. Everything paranormal in The Sopranos can be explained. This is one that I kind of subscribe to, too, a little bit. There are a lot of supernatural moments in The Sopranos. There's going to be some on this iceberg list here. But I like it, personally, to be honest, when shows don't go full supernatural. They go, like, it could be supernatural or it could be explained because, again, just like character, you can explain characters as, like, they do these bad things for a logical reason. A lot of the paranormal stuff can just be like when Tony sees, pussy in the mirror. That can be explained by his own, subconscious hang-ups about the fact that he killed his best friend. So I like that these paranormal things have some explanation, but there is a lot of it, and I do think that the show was trying to, touch on the fact that there is something beyond just this. I mean, we see that in Tony's coma dream, which we're going to talk about. We see that with Paulie seeing the Virgin Mary. So there are a lot of supernatural elements in the show, but I like when when they're not like just straightforward. That's what I didn't like about the Many Saints of Newark. When we had the Christopher narration from hell, that's basically telling us that, like, yes, Christopher is in hell. That's not Tony or someone else like imagining Christopher saying these things and therefore informing us about their thoughts about Christopher, about, their character. It's just overt. This is the supernatural thing that's happening. So that's what I feel about the paranormal. Racist boomer interpretations of the series. This is something that's going to be a little controversial for me to say, but there is a big part of the community that I think interprets the series incorrectly. I don't want to get too much on this because it's going to start a culture war, but like the criticism of the Many Saints of Newark that it focused a lot on the African American characters. Sorry about that. There's something going on outside my window here. I think there might be a parade or something going on outside. I don't know what. But try to ignore that. Average white guy. That's a great name for what you posted there. Who else, huh? That scene where the white family is robbed by the African Americans, and then the guy screams out the N word, and he's like, "Well, who else would rob us?" I really want to see what this is. Give me 1 second here. Oh, there is a parade going on down the street there. I have no idea what that's for. Is it like a holiday today? I don't know. Christmas parade maybe, but I don't know. It's a little early in the month for that. Yeah, it's the Puerto Rican Pride Parade. AJ's out there getting dumped by his girlfriend. Okay, so like I was saying before, this white family gets robbed. They assume it's black people doing this to them, but we immediately cut from that to Tony looking at the pictures of the cars. So we see that like it was him that robbed this family. It was his plan, his operation. And so again, a lot of the criticism the show gets of being racist, or the semi kind of racist people who kind of like that aspect of it, they're both incorrect. The Sopranos is not a racist show. When we see things like this, we're showing that the realistic thing about it is there's often different forces behind all of these actions. Like the constant thing of it was black guys that did it. These guys are blaming their crimes on African Americans, and so it's not saying that black people are saints or that they're criminals or whatever. It's just showing that crime is this kind of universal thing in the show, and it touches everyone. Everyone's got their hands out. Everyone's dirty. So again, this I didn't want to harp on this too much, but that is kind of what this point is making here, is that racist interpretations of the show, whether you're pro racism or against racism, it's not true. The Sopranos is not a racist show. It's like Analyze This. This is a joke because Analyze This came out after the first season, or the first season was already running. I'm not sure exactly when, but Sopranos came first, and Analyze This with Robert De Niro just happened to have a similar plot. Tony's dreams have no real meaning. I believe in this to an extent. I don't think literally every single element of the dream means something. Chase has even kind of gone on record and said that sometimes they were just adding things in and then coming up with an explanation for them later. But this point is making is that a lot of the dreams are very esoteric and they're hard to kind of understand. So it takes a while to really pick out the meaning from them. Certain things like the coma dream definitely have a lot of symbolic meaning. The Funhouse dream, the overall meaning was it was pussy was a rat, and that was what Tony's subconscious was telling him. But there are a lot of weird elements in there that might mean something, they might not mean something. You can read the dreams a lot of different ways. Carmela is such a bitch. Again, this kind of goes along with this point of characters for being annoying. People don't like Carmela because she's a nag and she's just a housewife, and Tony's the cool one. But again, this is up here because it's the more you watch the show, the more you'll grow to appreciate how well these characters are written. And Carmela, like I said, Carmela has become one of my favorite characters. She's just the way she wants so many different things at the same time. She wants to be independent, but she also wants Tony to provide for her. She wants all of this stuff, and it's this beautiful contradiction of her character. Just like Tony wants to be the tough guy, but at the same time he resents having to step up and act like this. So a lot of these characters are contradictory, but that only makes them better written because that's how people are. She's like anyone else, just trying to get by. Everyone in the show is just trying to live their life. And I agree with you, Maya. Carm did a lot for Tony. She busted his balls, she nagged him, but if you guys remember that scene at the hospital where her just breaking down, crying, telling Tony how much she loved him, that was genuine. I know they hated each other at times. Rightly they should. They're both bad people. But Michael, you're right. Carmela is a hypocrite, but so is Tony. Like I don't like people using that as like she's a bad character because she's a hypocrite. Every character on the show is a hypocrite. That's what makes them great characters. Um, so yeah, I really like her character, and I like a lot of these characters that people typically don't like. Um, and Foolish Block, yeah, I agree with you that you know you don't have to sympathize with her in the sense that like she did no wrong. She's not perfect, and the show's not trying to put her on a pedestal. The show doesn't put any of these characters on a pedestal. Um, but I think they're beautifully written, even if we don't like their actions personally. Um, Tony and Dr. Melfi, yeah, okay. So a lot of people wanted Tony and Melfi to get together. If you think that would have worked out at all, you don't know these characters. You don't know how it would have worked. But yeah, Tony and Melfi together would have been horrible. They're not meant for each other. Melfi even comes out and says this directly, like she's attracted to him. Like we see the sex dream she has, but it's just a fantasy. Like fantasy and reality are not the same thing. Like yeah, they'd get together and they'd be like attracted to each other for a while, but again, Tony doesn't really respect psychiatry. He doesn't respect, people. Melfi is a very, liberal, sympathetic person. It wouldn't work. And yeah, this could never ever be. Mafia show. It is a mafia show to an extent, but it's much deeper than that. And we've been harking on about that. So that's why this is up here. So yeah, that is the first tier here. So let's move on to the next one. Audience should not be able to relate to Tony since he does immoral things. This is like a very old school kind of moralistic mentality when it comes to television. You see a lot of older TV shows and movies. Like the studios used to be really against like, oh, you can't have the main character do this, you can't have the main character do that, because if he does something bad, the audience won't root for him. But what Chase proved in this show and has influenced all of television since then is that no, we'll like them more because they're more interesting if they do bad things. And he proved that in the episode College, which that was my first really big video that I did. Tony killing the rat, with his bare hands like that, proved to all of television that, we want to see these characters do bad things. It's created almost like a cliche now where every TV show basically is... chat has... I think I turned down the lag Olamide, so it pops up quicker. But yeah, all of television is influenced by The Sopranos to the point where basically everything's like everyone's a cold, dark anti-hero now. I'm kind of hoping we go back a little bit just because it'd be more interesting to have shows about good people again. But we'll see. An Absurd Existence, thank you. The college video you did was good. That was my first kind of real foray into The Sopranos. I did the Dickie video before that, but that was the first one where I learned a lot about analysis. There's a lot of things I would do different about that video now, but you live and you learn. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The Sopranos is about psychology. It is. This is not a wrong opinion. A lot of it is psychology, but again, like I said, David Chase has talked in interviews, and if you haven't seen it, you should watch the interview he did with Peter Bogdanovich. He's the guy who plays Elliot, Melfi's therapist. He's also a very famous director in his own right. But they have this really long hour-plus interview on YouTube. Go check it out. It was really early on. I don't remember what season this came out in. It might have been after the first season, but he interviews him. And he talks about the fact that like a lot of these things that they're writing in here are like happy accidents. They don't necessarily plan out every single detail of like what it means. They just put these things in here and kind of let the interpretations just naturally flow. And I think you need to kind of do that as a TV writer if you're too top down, the show becomes boring. You need to let it be natural and flow, just like real life. And Robin Marks, The Sopranos is about politics and business. It's about life in America. Chase has said that like the only theme he ever intentionally wrote was the parallels between the mob and like America in general. America's obsessed with business, and so the mob is too. So that's how that connection exists there. Extremely unrealistic depictions of crime. This is true to an extent. I mean, these guys get away with things in real life you just wouldn't get away with. I've always said the pilot episode, the chase he does, where he runs over a guy in public and all these civilians are watching, you would get arrested for that. People say they're like, oh no, they're the mob, and people were too scared to. No, this was like 2001. People weren't scared of the mob like to that extent. They weren't whacking witnesses like that. So they would have gotten caught. So there's a bunch of things like the waiter in Atlantic City that they kill. There's a lot of these things that it's not super realistic. But again, it's more about the characters than the criminal element. That's the secondary thing. Audience relates to Tony because he does immoral things. Kind of the opposite of this one right here. But again, yeah, that's he's more fascinating because of that, because of the criminal elements. And Christopher Flack, thank you so much. That's really appreciated. Tony is killed at the end. You guys, you probably have seen my video by now. At the end, I talk about all the different elements from throughout that season that really hint that he's dead. People like to point out that there have been some interviews where Chase has said like a word here or there where it's like, no, this confirms Tony died at the end. I believe that only the work speaks for itself. Death of the author. You can interpret the work any way you want to, but you need to have evidence from the show. I don't really take Chase interviews as like canon for that. He doesn't necessarily get to just declare authorally, what happened at the end. It has to be within the show, Chase could say that aliens abducted Tony at the end. Well, there's no evidence for that within the work itself. So I only look at the show itself, the material itself, as I decide these things. I will look at supplementary things to understand like the intent behind some of this stuff. But I want the work to speak for itself here. Let's see what else here. The duck represents Tony's family. This is true. Melfi brings this up a number of times in the therapy scenes. The ducks leaving is Tony's fear that something bad's going to happen to his family. We see that great shot, not of ducks, they're geese. Yes, a million people have commented that on my college video. The geese flying away at the end represents like Tony kind of losing his connection to Meadow because they were getting really close this episode, but he lied to her at the end. And so again, Tony losing his family is like it was his actions that did it. It was him being in the mob, him being a liar, pushing his family away. Though that's what made the ducks leave. And so it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But that is true there. But again, that's one of those things that's like Chase has said before too, that like the ducks, he just wrote in the ducks and just kind of added the symbolism later. So I think that's why this is up here. Gabagool, yes, there's a bunch of Sopranos memes. Varsity Athlete, Gabagool, you all have been commenting a million of them. They're fun. I love the memes, but the show has a lot more depth than just Gabagool and Varsity Athletes. Tony is a sociopath. He is. That's just what it is. He has a lot of sympathy for animals and certain people, but he's able to murder family members and even close friends because kind of it's what the life demands. Mr. Black, hey Kino, love your work, keep it up, buddy. Thank you so much. The Sopranos fans are in this thing for life. That is true. The Sopranos community is, I think, probably the best like fan community. It's not the biggest one out there, but it's dedicated and like people love this show even 20 years later. So one of the best communities out there by far. The ending had no meaning whatsoever. Again, the ending, you had to kind of watch it multiple times. You had to look at previous episodes to really get it. But again, on first watch, a lot of people were like, did my TV turn off? What the hell happened? I'm going to take a drink of water here. Green bean, I started eating official gabagool, provolone, and banana peppers on official Italian bread. I've never eaten gabagool. I've eaten, a lot of the other ones, salami, sopressata, is that it? A lot of the other ones, but I have not eaten gabagool yet. And I kind of intentionally have not eaten it because I kind of want to like eat it like for a special occasion, like for a special video, eating gabagool for the first time. But we'll see. I mean, I imagine it's similar to the rest of them, but I'm saving the gabagool for like a special video or something like that. Watch me eat it for the first time. I'm sure it is good. Yeah, mukbang. Oh, that would be so gross. I like salami and stuff, but it's so fatty and so greasy. Like, oh god, that would ruin my stomach. Pepper and egg sandwich. Yes, I ate that because of Junior. I made it for the first time and so good. I love a lot of Italian sandwiches. I love going to Italian delis, getting a nice sandwich, getting a cream soda. Oh my god, so good. Yeah, nothing but fat and nitrates. Yeah, that's the other thing is like I have not lived near like a really high quality Italian deli for a while. I just moved into a new house here. That's why I was delayed this week, and that's why I look like a fucking mess. Yeah, I'm gonna find like I'm sure in my city now there's gonna be like a really high quality Italian deli, and so I'm gonna get some gabagool in the paper wrap, and we'll eat it for a video. Carmela is just as accountable as Tony. Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean she knew, her therapist tells her, she knew what was involved in their life, and she continued on with it. So, she is just accountable. Big Mouth Billy Bass, again, funny like on the surface level, but deeply traumatizing when you think about how much it reminds Tony of the fact that he killed his best friend. That was his first real like horrible action, and then he would kill family members left and right from there. But yeah, I got the bee on my head. Psh. Okay, so let's move on to the third tier, members only jacket Hitman. I should have worn the members only jacket for this, yeah, the Hitman at the end, the guy in the members only jacket is Tony's presumed hitman. I talked about the details of that, but there's a direct connection between that episode and the first one of season 6, also called Members Only. Adriana reincarnated as a cat. I talked about that in the Blue Comet, or did I talk about that in Made in America? But yeah, there's a theory that Adriana was reincarnated as a cat. I don't like the idea that Christopher is the cat because the cat's a boy. Adriana is just so associated with cat imagery. It has to be Adriana. I don't see Christopher. There's nothing about if it was a bird, I could see it being Christopher, but yeah, it's not. He has nothing to do with cats at all. Christopher was cursed. So this is what I'm not familiar with. There's going to be some things here that I don't know entirely. I don't know everything about the community. Christopher thought he was going to go to hell because of his actions, and he had that prophecy it feels weird to call it a prophecy. He had that thing where he warned Tony and Paulie 3 o'clock. So again, a connection to the supernatural, but I don't know what specifically cursed means in this context. Lady Gaga cameo, yeah. So if you guys, I talked about this in that episode. I think it was the Telltale Mozzarella. I think that's what the one it was. It's where AJ goes and vandalizes the pool at his school. One of the girls in his little friend group there was Lady Gaga. It was before she was famous. She actually is a Juilliard trained. I don't know if she trained as an actress or as a musician, but she's classically trained, and so that was one of her very first appearances. The Sopranos is a dark, absurdist comedy. Yeah, I mean that's the reason why there's so much humor in the show to kind of counteract the horrible stuff that happens. It's very absurd, it's very funny, and it's one of the things that makes the show. David Chase's Russian explanation. So David Chase gave an interview. The one that he might have given it multiple times, but he gave an interview, I think for a radio show, where he said that kind of his head canon, again, if it's not actually on the show, it didn't happen. But he said that an idea he had was that in his head, was that the Russian in Pine Barrens climbed up a tree. Paulie and Christopher, went away. They chased their own, trails in the snow. He was found by the Russian was found by some Boy Scouts, and they took him to a hospital. He got back to Slava, and then Slava sent him back to the Ukraine. So that was his headcanon. Again, if it's not on a show, it's not true. But that's one explanation. Terry Winter also had an interview where he said that he was originally going to write in the Russian into another episode where you see that a hole in the back of his head, which shows that he has brain damage, and so he doesn't remember what Christopher and Paulie did. But again, it just never panned out, and I think honestly it makes it better because now we get to talk forever about what happened to the Russian. Dr. Melfi leg fetishization. Melfi shows off her legs a lot to Tony and to the audience. She's got great legs, Lorraine Bracco. I in my headcanon is that she was intentionally trying to titillate Tony because again we see she was attracted to him and she kind of got off on the danger and the fact that he's this tough alpha male. So I believe she deliberately tried to show off her legs. People say that she didn't show off her legs when it was just her and Carmela. That's not true though. In the I think it's in the when Carmela goes to see Melfi after Tony is shot. I think she does show off her legs in that. So that's not. She showed off her legs for everyone. But she had great. There was that scene after her rape in Employee of the Month where she calls Carmela and tells her she had a car accident. And Tony's like, is she going to have stitches on her legs? Just because he liked looking at them so much. But, what are you going to do? Kevin Finnerty, Tony's alternate persona. I talked about this a hell of a lot in my Coma Dream video. Watch that if you haven't seen it. But it's his alternate persona in the Coma Dream. To me, it's who he would have been. Kevin Finnerty is who he is to me. But Tony in the dream is who he would have been if he never went into the mob. Kevin Finnerty, obviously, Infinity, that connection there. The Sopranos is about existentialism. Fucking internet. There's a lot of existential themes in the show. One, of course, the episode where AJ gets into existentialism. But beyond just that, existentialism is one of these very vague philosophical things where it's anything can be an existential crisis, but a lot of the show is about what does this all mean, which is a big part of existentialism. So yeah, that's what that means there. Shot by shot analysis of the ending. This is kind of poking fun at the fact that a lot of us really overanalyze the show, and that's me too, and we go really in depth with look at this picture here. This means that. Like I talked about at the ending, you see a picture of the house from the Coma Dream video on the wall. It's entirely possible that that house is not the actual house. It's just a picture they had up there. But again, we like to overanalyze things about the show. And just in general, people like to overanalyze everything. So that's what this point is kind of poking fun at. Let me drink a little water here and check the chat. Robin, Tony's search for his true identity is his existential journey. True. It's all a simulation. Well, it's possible that Sopranos takes place entirely within Westworld. Spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen the show, there's a cameo in the second or third season where it shows that Game of Thrones takes place within a Westworld continuity, and some people even say that like the reason season 8 sucks is because that writer from Westworld died, and so whoever wrote the story arc for season 8 was terrible. So maybe Sopranos, maybe all HBO shows take place within a Westworld continuity. Although I wonder about certain things like, does John Adams take place in Westworld? Does Treme? I don't know. But it'd be fun. I'd love to go to a Sopranos Westworld. I would blow Christopher's head off in Sopranos world for treating my queen Adriana like that. Oz, that's the other one too. Is Oz like a Westworld? Like who would like pay a lot of money to go basically simulate male rape in prison if Oz is like a Westworld? I don't know. Breaking Bad takes place in Sopranos world because Dr. Kennedy also does Heisenberg surgery. Yeah, but I don't think he has the same name. I mean, that's like saying any actor is like, there's like a crossover. I don't know. There's some like theme connections between Sopranos and Breaking Bad, but no direct ones, as far as I'm aware of. I did see a video though about all the parallel like kind of like shots and like styles of like Tony has the big pizza and then Walt has the big pizza. So yeah, Charmaine is a queen too. All women are queens. If they breathe, they're a thought. Okay, let's get back to this. Weird transition effect in season 1. I don't know what they're talking about here. I can't remember off the top of my head what scene transition they're talking about here. There's that weird like wipe in season 5 with Carmela and Wegler when she's walking away. There's a lot of weird transition effects throughout the show, but I don't know what specifically they're talking about here. Do any of you guys know? Morty, yes, this is live, so I see your comment. Ralphie, Crazy 8 in the bathtub, yeah, that's another connection here. Kevin Finney, O'Reilly became Dennis, Liz Lemon's boyfriend in 30. I haven't seen 30 Rock, so I don't know that, but I know the guy you're talking about. He was on Ryan O'Reilly. He was a cop also in Law and Order. And of course, Elliot Stabler from Law and Order was Chris Keller in Oz. So, another connection there. Mr. Black, I have not seen Gomorrah. I'll add that to the list of shows I'll need to check out, but I'm deep into Wire now, and I've got a million shows to watch after that too. Oh, yeah, so Big... I don't know what this name is. Big. I think it's talking about when they kill Jimmy. Yeah, so when they take Jimmy to meet the Russian whore, and then he goes for his gun, and then it slows to slow-mo. That's probably what it was. Great call there. Keller was not an awful character. He's my favorite character in the show. What the hell are you talking about? Although that might be biased for me because again, I watched Oz before I watched Sopranos, and that was back in the day when I was a normie too. But I loved Chris Keller. I thought he was cool, and to be honest, I love the romance between Chris Keller and Beecher. I know it's weird that one's a prison bitch and one's a bisexual rapist, or not rapist, serial killer. Sorry, um, but yeah, that was I like those characters. Adebisi was cool. Schillinger is the scariest villain in all of television. I dare anyone to prove me wrong. He is frightening. Um, I don't want to get too much into Oz here. That's another video we'll do. CGI Livia again. People commented on a video that they didn't realize that Livia was CGI in that one episode in season 3. Yeah, she was CGI. They spent a ridiculous amount of money on it. It looked terrible. They shouldn't have done it. She should have just died off screen without any kind of, any kind of. It would have been shocking if she just died. We never saw her. But again, this CGI was kind of new to television at this point, so I think they were just trying something out. But David Chase satirizing American culture, talked about this. That's true. Every character is a horrible person. Yeah, that's true. Even characters we kind of think are good, like Bobby, or some other ones. I know Cineranter did a video on Bobby's being a bad person. I haven't watched it personally yet. Yeah, a lot of even characters we think are traditionally good, they're still a part of a horrible system. So definitely, no real good people in this mix. Hey, Junk Waffles, glad to have you here. Cryptid sighting in season 6, episode 4. This is fleshy part of the thigh. So this is when Tony's out of his coma. I don't know what they're talking about here. I think maybe they're talking about the fact that the pastor, the creepy pastor guy, was talking about dinosaurs. I don't know what they mean. Cryptid, by the way, if you don't know what that means, it's like Bigfoot, the Hydra, like any like kind of mythical creature that's Chupacabra, the New Jersey Devil, any of these kind of like mythical creatures. I don't know specifically what they're talking about here though. Fleshy part of the thigh was one of the worst episodes. It wasn't the best, but yeah, I don't know. We already rated all the episodes, so we're not gonna get back into that. He was a golem. He's talking about Tony, because Tony's a golem. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Bobby foreshadowed Tony's death. I think this is talking about the boat scene with Tony in Soprano home movies, where he's like, you probably don't even see it or you probably don't even hear it when it happens, because again, it just cuts to black, so Tony never heard the gunshot go off. I think that's what this is referring to. Tony's coma arc. I talked about that in the video. Just watch that video. But we're seeing Tony's alternate life and who he could have been in the coma dream. Borko. You all know Borko. He's on a little bit of a hiatus because of copyright, and he's doing something with law. I talk to Borko sometimes, though. Me and him are not like super close, but I like the guy, and he was great. He came on the podcast. If you guys haven't seen that one, go check it out. But he's a great guy. Very friendly. I love talking to him about the show, and we'll probably have him back on the podcast eventually again. But yeah, awesome guy. Okay, so let's move on to the next tier here. Twin Towers removed from the opening. So 9/11 happens. 9/11 happens during the run of season 3, but I think they already produced, had started making most of the episodes. But starting season 4, they removed the Twin Towers, just like a lot of shows did. And there's a deeper impact 9/11 has on the show, which I'm going to make a separate video about. That's one aspect there. Ralph was framed. Okay, so this is talking about the whether or not Ralph burned Pyomai alive. Um, the So here's the interesting thing. David Chase refused to tell Joey Pants whether or not he Ralph did it or not, and so Joey chose to play him. The guy who plays Ralph chose to play it like Ralph was innocent. So there isn't really a real answer whether Ralph did it or not. I kind of personally believe he did. But when I asked this in the last stream, people were pretty divided over, if Ralph did it or not. So, some people truly believe that Ralph didn't, do it. Some people think Paulie framed Ralph and burned down the stable. But, again, I don't know. I don't see any evidence for it. If I didn't see it in the show, if I didn't see hints for it, I tend to not believe it. So, I'm going to pop over here to YouTube again. Oh, we got 260 viewers. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I love doing these, and hopefully you love watching them, and we can keep making more of these. It was among the horses, real greaseball stuff. Yeah, there's a secret horse mafia. 3 o'clock symbolism. I've talked about this before, but Paulie is obsessed with the 3 o'clock prophecy. He keeps thinking like 3 o'clock means like time. But another interpretation could be 3 o'clock as in the position, relative to where you're facing. And that is where the shooter would have come from if Tony was shot. He would have got shot as 3 o'clock. So that might be like a nice twist. I love when that happens, by the way. I love when you're given like a red herring and you assume it means one thing, but it actually means something else. Tony was killed by his own crew. It's possible Paulie did it. It's possible Patsy did it. It's possible Little Carmine did it. It's possible Butchie did it. We don't know. We can't know because Tony doesn't know. Talked about that in the Made in America video. Check it out. Okay, the Russian got away. Again, I talked about this. We don't know what happened to the Russian. They were thinking they might do something else with him later on, but it never got made. So we don't know. Ghosts are canon. So again, I talked about this before. There's a lot of supernatural stuff. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat. There's a lot of supernatural stuff in the show. We got Pussy's Ghost in the Mirror, which is the next one down here. I don't know why they put two basically the same points right back to back. We got Pussy's Ghost in the Mirror when Tony sees it's very brief. We have, again, right here too, Karen's ghost moves the wine glass when Janice and Bobby are eating her last ziti. Again, it's possible Janice just moved the placemat by herself, but there does seem to be a connection between the supernatural. We had the dream sequences where ghosts kind of come back. Yeah, there's a lot of supernatural connections in the show. Inn at the Oaks is hell. I talked about this in the Coma Dream video. The inn was him about to basically cross into the afterlife. It looks like hell. Olivia's there, and that's definitely where she would go. And so, that's what that means there. Oh, and AJ with a great point, Foolish Block. AJ hears Olivia's ghost in the house after her death. There's a bunch of those. Morty, which James Gandolfini movies have you watched? Which are your favorites? I loved, is it Crimson Tide? Is that the title with Denzel Washington, where they're on a boat or on a submarine and there's like a mutiny because he's gonna like launch a nuke against someone. That was a good one. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 was good. I need to watch True Romance. I think I saw it once when I was younger, but I don't remember a lot about it. But I know that was a good one. I haven't seen Burn After Reading. I need to check that out. Or is that it? Or was it Killing Them Softly? I don't remember which one of those he was in, but I haven't seen either. I need to watch that. But I've seen his true romance scenes on YouTube. That's kind of what got him the Sopranos part, I think. But you're too much into symbolism. It's too easy. The painting, 3 o'clock jacket. Yeah, but what else is there besides like symbolism and like character analysis? Like, what else would I do? You want me to just make videos about like, oh yeah, Tony was so cool. Yeah, fuck Janice. Fuck AJ. I don't know what else I would do besides talk about this shit. Killing himself. Okay, that's what it was. But Burn After Reading, that's Brad Pitt's in that one too, right? I don't know. Let's see here. Cast members threatened by real mobsters. So that's this point right here. I haven't heard about that before. I know that like there's this apocryphal story going around that Tony was told by a real life mobster, or James Gandolfini was told by a real life mobster, that a Don doesn't wear shorts. I've heard other stories that David Chase was told. I don't know. I've never seen like the actual person who was told to say something like that. I've just heard other people say it about that, so I don't know if it's true or not. But I know Michael Imperiali was approached by like wannabe wise guys in like Vegas or whatever, asking to get on the show. So there was a lot of like wannabe gangsters and stuff wanting to be on the show. There's a great documentary. I think it's called like The Real Life Sopranos, but talks about how basically the real life. I forget the name. Is it De Calavante family in New Jersey was kind of taken down by the Sopranos. It's too much to go into now, but go check out that documentary. It's pretty cool. Vinny Ocean is kind of the inspiration behind Tony. There is no mafia. Tony's famous quote from the college episode. Use stairs. Okay, yeah, this is from the season 2 episode Do Not Resuscitate, where Janice is imagining pushing Livia down the stairs. There's that really weird sequence where it's like almost like a cartoon, where she kind of imagines like a cartoon Livia being pushed down the stairs. Sorry, I'm checking my phone. I got a text real quick. Oh, that was my fiance texting me. She's downstairs. It was a Native American parade. That's what was going on out there, which is cool. I wish I could have been outside to watch it, but oh well. Talking about Sopranos is not a bad consolation prize. I'm trying to read the chat here. Yeah, it's a stereotype and it's offensive. Karen. Okay, we talked about Karen's ghost moving the wine glass. Lilyhammer is Silvio's coma dream. I saw a few episodes of Lilyhammer. To be honest, I didn't really get into it that much. It's a Netflix original series where little Stevie Van Zandt plays a mobster. I forget his name, but some of the cast from The Sopranos appears in it too. Like Tony Sirico is his brother, is like a priest. Some people think this is his dream in the coma. I never kind of got that whole like the series is like someone's coma dream, because you would think that if it was a dream, it would be like better than how it turns out. I never saw Lilyhammer, so it might be like a great life he's living there in whatever. But you would think he would still be him. People always, this might be like a weird tangent, but people always say that about Pokemon. They say that when Ash was struck by lightning in like the first episode, he went into a coma, and the rest of the series is his dream. But you think if it was his dream, like he wouldn't lose like the fucking Indigo League and all these other like tournaments he loses. You think it would be more, I don't know. So that's why I always think those are weird fan theories. Sorry, I know I'm going off topic with like a Pokemon fan theory in a Sopranos video, but it is what it is. De Calavante. I don't know if I said it right, but yeah, Pokemon card. Pokemon. That's what the series is called. Jolly, yes, thank you. Yes, I'm engaged. I mentioned that in the last stream. I have a fiance, and no plans. We don't have a date yet or anything set, but thank you. It's going really well. The oh shit guy was connected. I don't know what they mean by this. The oh shit guy is when Phil gets hit. Uh, and then there's like this black guy. He's like, oh shit. I don't know how. I don't know how he's connected. I don't know that theory or not. So we'll skip that one. But it's a funny scene, no less. Hopefully, we'll try to move a little bit quicker because I don't want to take 2 hours. Although I like talking about the show and I like talking about this. So, but in terms of like the video, I don't want to make it too long. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Kino request. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Spending $500,000 on a wedding. That's a little outside my price range though. Okay, Tony's Oedipus complex. Yeah, Tony has mother issues. That's pretty obvious from the show. I don't. I think this is when I think about Oedipus complex. I think people interpret it wrong. I don't think he wanted to fuck his mother, but I think like just kind of naturally, he went after women who had a lot of personality traits similar to his mother, like hard to please, dark hair. I don't think he was sexually attracted to his mom. That's not what that means. And I think that's pretty natural, to be honest. Like to be honest, my fiance is very similar to my mother in a lot of ways. And my mom watches these streams sometimes, so I don't know if that's weird to say or not, but I think that's just natural that people kind of find people similar to their parents, just because that's just kind of how you were raised, so you like it. But he didn't. I don't think Tony was interested in his mother or his sister, no matter what Melfi kind of insisted. Vito's doctor note. So Vito was thinking that like he could get a doctor's note to explain that his medication was what made him gay. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. I know drugs can mess with your head, but I don't think you could get one that's like, yeah, this medication definitely made him homosexual. Sopranos takes place in a hyper paranormal universe. I've talked about this. A lot of these points are very redundant. Junior Fortune, that's so fucking gross. I should ban you for that shit. Mafia rat involved in the making of the series. I think the chat kind of lagged for a second because they're all kind of catching up now. Let me make sure we're still live. Yep, still good. Mafia rat involved in the making of the series. I don't know about that. I don't know if they had any kind of special consultant. They actually approached Michael Francis. If you guys, I don't know if you guys, I think you guys do, because I see it. I see who my subscribers watch, other channels they watch, and a lot of you guys watch Michael Francis videos. I do too. He's great. But they actually approached him they wanted him to be a consultant on the show, and he passed it up, which he regrets. Although he very falsely believes that Chase based the character of Livia on his mother. It's not true. Chase based it on his own mother, but I guess maybe that's just kind of Italian moms are kind of similar in that regard. Kevin Finnerty, you and your fiance should go find a wicked expensive house and just buy it without even looking inside of it. That's kind of what happened, to be honest. My new place is a house. We looked inside of it, but it was more rough than kind of originally thought. But we're working on it, and maybe I'll show it off in like a video on the Kino Studios. Still need to make some more videos for that channel. Let's see here. Carmela's such a bitch again. People, didn't we just have this one? I swore we had another one. Yeah, it's right here. Why did they put it twice? I guess it's just to be funny, but we talked about that already. Audience blackpilled by Made in America. I don't really know what black pill means, to be honest. Like I kind of get it. Like I know what red pill means. I know what blue pill means. Black pill, does that mean like you get depressed afterwards? Can anyone kind of school me on some 4chan memes here? But I think it's saying that like the audience gets depressed by Made in America because it's a dark episode. I think we have another point down here that's kind of similar. Um, the Russian killed Tony. That's one theory that it was a Russian guy. I don't think so. But you know, who knows who it could have been. Uh, why AJ doesn't know what gutters are. I don't know if this means something special or if it just means he's spoiled. Because he doesn't know what gutters were when Tony tells him to go clean the gutters. I don't know if it's meaning something deeper than that, but it's just because he's spoiled and he doesn't do any housework. Test Stream is the best episode. Again, a lot of people didn't like these kind of esoteric episodes. They didn't like the slow ones, and so it's down here at the bottom to say that if you like the test stream, you're like a real fan. So I thought it was a great episode, but that's what it is. Next up, pin. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that like you have to. I'm not saying like I'm so much smarter than anyone for knowing these. Like, yeah, you are supposed to know this, but it's like this is like basic stuff that like people who didn't even watch the series all the way through kind of thing. I'm talking about like if you watch the series multiple times, you're gonna pick up on like 99% of this stuff. Every Breath You Take, Peter Gunn mashup. I talked about that in the Mr. Ruggiero's Neighborhood. A lot of people correct me on that. Fair enough, Mr. Ruggiero or Ruggiero, however you pronounce it. But yeah, it's a mashup of Every Breath You Take, which if you guys actually listen to the lyrics, I'm sure you guys know this, but if you actually listen to the lyrics of that song, it sounds like a romance song, but it's actually about stalking. And again, it's by a band called The Police. So Peter Gunn is I think that's like I forgot, but it's like a detective or police show, right? So that's why they mashed those two up there. Sopranos food eating compilations. Yeah, there's a lot of them on YouTube. The food looks great. What can I say? Italians, you guys got the food game down. Like, that is, you're really, Italian food might be the best food out there generally. I like a lot of different cultures' foods, by the way, including my own. But, man, pasta, pizza, all of it. I got a Sopranos cookbook for Christmas from my friend. And so I might make a video. I talked about that in the Breaking Bad video. I'll make a cooking video eventually here. Yeah, we'd be eating pootsie if not for them. Mr. Thorax, are you is that a King of the Hill joke? Are you Chinese or Japanese? Neither. I'm Laotian. Is that in China or Japan? I'm actually both, by the way. I'm Chinese and Japanese and Mexican. But I'm kind of a mutt. I'm like Noah. I'm a. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that word. I don't know if that word's offensive or not. But yeah, got a lot of different cultures in me. Original season 3 plot. So if you guys didn't know this, Nancy Marchand died kind of early into the production of season 3, so they had to completely rewrite the season after her death. And so the original plot line was going to be she was going to testify against Tony, and Tony had to kind of like convince her not to. So that was going to be the original outline. She was going to be like involved with pretty much every season before her untimely death, which is very sad, but it also allowed the show to expand into new territories. Greasy, I am not from LA. I don't really want to give my location, to be honest, but not from LA. I lived in the Bay Area for a while for work, but I'm a NorCal boy. Let's see in the chat here. I was not gonna say the N word, Morty. I was gonna say like the word that Tony describes him as not. It wasn't the N word. It was it starts with a D, but I'm not gonna say it. Tony was dead before the finale. Okay, so yeah, this is another theory again, kind of like the coma theory, which is that like there's a theory that Tony died in the first episode of season 6 when he's shot, and the rest of it is like either the afterlife or his coma dream or whatever. Again, I don't believe this, because if it was a dream, I don't think season 6 would be nearly as dark as it was. Maybe it was a nightmare, but again, I don't tend to believe in those types of theories. There was no spark or chemistry between Carmela and Furio. Yeah, I agree with that to an extent. I think that like it wasn't the best kind of. It felt a little forced. I think they wanted to give Furio and Carmela something to do, basically, but yeah, it could have been more natural. Like, it didn't feel like they had that much in common. Like, he's just like, oh, I'm like a sensitive Italian, even though I beat up women and stuff. And Carmela makes sense because she kind of lusted after every guy that came into that house because, again, she wasn't getting any kind of emotional, love from Tony, so she craved it from other guys. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. Violent 911 calls made during finale. I don't know what this is specifically. I think that it might be about people thought their TV went out during the finale. They thought the cut to black was something wrong with their TV, and so I know some people freaked out about that. It was a long time ago, but I don't know specifically if this is referring to a different thing or not. Fuck that donkey guy. Oh, okay. I saw your post over here. So you're saying you didn't like Donkey's video about the Sopranos video game? I like Donkey. I think he's really fun. I thought that video was really funny. But we'll talk about the video game right here. I love you too, Colburn Classroom. The entire Vito is gay arc. So again, a lot of people don't like the Vito arc. I think there's reasons to dislike it. Again, it was, from what I hear, Vito, like the actor Vito, I'm blanking on his name right now. He's not liked by the cast because apparently, one, I think he pushed for his character to get this kind of storyline so he could get more screen time, and people didn't like that. And two, I also hear he's kind of a greedy, like, charges people for autographs and stuff too. I don't know. I shouldn't make judgments on people I've never actually met or anything, but yeah, Joseph Ganascoli. Yeah, I heard he's people don't have a high opinion of him. And so I think there's reasons to dislike the arc, but I don't dislike it just because it shows gay people, which that's why some people don't like it, by the way. Hold on, I saw a question here. Did you see the Vile Eyes analyzing evil video on Tony? No, I didn't. I tend to kind of avoid analysis videos from other creators because I'm like, what if I want to do something like that? And I do want to do something like that eventually. And then if I watch it, I feel like, well, I already watched this video, so I can't make it because then I would just be stealing his content. If I've made a video, by the way, I've not watched other people's theories about it. I don't watch them. I've watched some analysis of it. I watched some of Sopranos theories videos. They're pretty good. But he did a Carmela video, and I want to do a Carmela video. So it's like, I'm in a weird place where it's like, I watched his one. I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different than he did, but I hope I don't want to be. I don't really care, but I don't want to be accused of like stealing people's content, even though I don't steal people's content. And also, you don't really own like an interpretation of the series, even if you make a video on it. I've gotten my videos taken, so to speak. Other people have made like videos like based on my college video, or at least similar to it. So I don't get mad though, because no one owns the show. It's just an idea. So okay, let's move on to the next thing here. Season 6, nihilistic emotional aura. Again, season 6 is very dark, both in terms of like the visuals and the emotions going on here. It's a dark season and it ends in a very dark note. So, but that we're seeing Tony's moral decline, and so it makes sense in that season to show it. Psychoanalysis of every dream in the show. We've talked about this. I've made videos about psychoanalyzing the dreams. There's a lot of ways to interpret them, and there's no one correct way. Whoever did this ending. Okay, so the ending of whoever did this after they dispose of Ralph, they go to the Bada Bing to wash up, and Tony falls asleep, and then when he wakes up, there's this really weird kind of sequence where he's just like kind of looking around. He's all alone. And again, I think it's kind of showing that like Tony is kind of destroying the people nearest to him one by one. And it's a very weird and, again, supernatural kind of ending. He sees the picture of Tracy, and we're just seeing how much his life is like consumed by, destruction and rage like that. So that's one of them. Next one, Sopranos video game is canon. I want to make a video about the video game eventually. I'm not good at I had to learn. I had to do research on how to emulate it on a computer to stream it or whatever. But I wanted to talk about it because it's kind of, they got all the voice cast. The game looks terrible from what I can tell from the videos I've watched. The graphics are horrible, even for PlayStation 2 standards. But I wanted to talk about the story because it seemed interesting. It's about Pussy's illegitimate son, who apparently is around during the run of the show. I don't think it's canon, to be honest. Although canon doesn't really matter, to be honest. I might make a video about that too eventually. But it's not exactly simple to emulate PS2 games, though. Yeah, I'm not good. I'm not a real big video game person. I play them, but I'm not I don't have a gaming PC, or I'm not into I'm not an expert in how to do all this kind of stuff. So I spend my time watching too much television. But I'd love to make a video on it because it seems interesting to talk about. I've not played the game. I need to go find my PS2. It's at my parents' house somewhere. I don't know if my mom threw it out or not. She's like that. She wants to get rid of my old video games. She usually gives them to me. I have a box of my Xbox games, my 360 games, but I know I can get a video card and record it directly from the PlayStation to my computer. But again, I don't know how to do that necessarily. Thank you, Killer Kill, but if I really want to, I can just go buy a new PS2. But hey, that's the name of an episode. We did it, Tony. We finally became the Sopranos. I love it when TV shows actually say the name of the show within the show. We did it, Rust. We're finally True Detectives Season 1. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Vito Doppelgangers. Yeah, the character or the actor who plays Vito appears in Season 1 as, is his name Gene? I think it's Gene, right? In the bakery. Which kind of relates to this bottom point down here, which is Christopher remembers being Spider from Goodfellas. When he shoots the guy in the foot, I regret also not bringing up that point in my my video talking about the legend of Tennessee Moltisanti. That was early on in the Soprano logs where I kind of didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't even talk about there was a connection. where Drea De Matteo, who plays Adriana, plays a waitress in the pilot episode. So I missed a lot of things that first season. I was just kind of figuring out how to do the videos. But Gino, sorry, right, not Gene, Gino. So he's saying, like, when he shoots the guy in the foot, he's like, it happens, referencing the fact that his character Spider on Goodfellas got shot in the foot. So, yeah, that's what that's referring to. Okay, let's move on. I want to finish this in the next 10 minutes or so. HBO censored the real ending. That's a theory people had. That's why it cut to black. Some people thought maybe the ending was too violent or whatever, and so they just cut to black. Just like how, it's like there were some other news show like live events they cut to black like that because something went on. So next Wire season review is coming out on Monday. My season 3 reaction. So Lost Ray Liotta pilot. Some people think Ray Liotta was supposed to be Tony. I've heard he was offered the role of Ralphie for that, and he turned it down. But as far as I know, there was no one ever for Tony besides the guy who plays Artie. I'm blanking on his name right now. He was considered briefly for Tony. I heard he did a good job. To be honest, I could see it actually. I know people are gonna get weirded out by that, by saying like he can't be Tony. He's so weak as Artie, but that's just good acting. I could see Artie being having rage, and John. He almost got to be. He's a great actor, really great. So. Calling All Cars dream. I talked about that weird dream where Tony's like an Italian handyman at the end. He sees Livia in the house. Very spooky. Sends shivers down my spine. But then he goes to the mirror. He goes to the bathroom and turns on the red light. Again, hinting a connection between that house and hell. Happy birthday scene from In Camelot. Meme right there. We talked about it. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Squeezing my titties together. I love that Chappelle bit about the Marilyn Monroe thing. When JFK is like, "Bitch, are you crazy? My wife's right there." I actually think I read that she wasn't there in real life. Jackie Kennedy, when Marilyn sang that to him, but yeah. Oh. The scene turned me on. She's got a great gams for an old lady. Fuck you, average white guy. That's funny. That's also a connection between Breaking Bad too. They both had cringy scenes of singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President." I think anyone trying to sing that is gonna be cringy because, you're naturally just setting yourself up for a comparison to Marilyn, who is one of the greatest sex icons of all time. So. Yeah, I think anyone trying to do that's going to come off weird. Even she, when she was singing that, was a little bit like, if she wasn't who she was, it's a little weird. Yeah, the song itself is cringe, yeah. So, Sopranos is way cringier. No, I don't think the Sopranos is cringier than the Breaking Bad one because Skylar does it in front of the whole audience. And I would if I was him. I know he liked Skylar. I know he was turned on, but even if that was me, I would have been like, "Don't do this in front of other people because I'm still the boss, and you're making me look like I don't know." It comes off weird. I think Breaking Bad's way cringier. Okay, so let's see here. Bell dinging in Soprano home movies again. The bell at the boat when Tony's looking over. Is a direct connection between when the bell of the door at Holston's opens up and Tony looks over. And so the whole point of that is to establish a connection and show that we're cutting to Tony's POV when that happens. And the fact that it cuts to black tells us that his POV is now gone, so he's dead. Yeah, still watching The Wire. I love it. Just finished season 3. It it's really fantastic. I can't wait to watch the next season. But I'm giving myself a little bit of break. I like to have a break between seasons. I hate binge watching. I want to take it in slowly and enjoy it and really think about what's happening. Yeah, Skylar was also pregnant, which yeah, weird time to be hitting on your boss in front of your coworkers as you're pregnant with your still husband's child. I can see why she got some dirty looks from her coworkers. Satriali's cannibalism. Again, there's they cut up bodies with Satriali's meat cutting machine, and some people think that like Gabagool is people. They're selling the meat there. I've heard that human tastes like pork, so maybe. I definitely wouldn't eat a Satriali's. Oh god, imagine the blood and guts and shit within the wiring and stuff, and ugh, gross. Lincoln Logg's suicide trigger. Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned this in the Second Coming, but there's like Carmela makes Lincoln Log sandwiches for AJ, which if you guys don't know what those are, they're it's like a sliced hot dog with cream cheese on white bread, which I don't know, that doesn't sound good to me. Not the cream cheese at least, like maybe mayo. I would eat that, but some people think that like there's a joke that, like the Lincoln Log sandwiches are what made AJ commit suicide. They were so gross that he was like, okay, gotta kill myself. Yeah, not good. Your hair was in the cream cheese. Disgusting, yeah. Mayonnaise. You can't clean prions off material, so if any of the equipment was used to cut up Ralphie, was used to prepare meat, they're doing cannibalism. Are prions only in the brain, though, or is it... Because they cut off Ralphie's head, they didn't cut out his brain. I heard Succession's really good, Andre. I'll need to check it out, but I've got a lot of other shows I need to watch. And besides, I like watching shows once they're all done, because then I can analyze the series as a whole. But I might check out Succession. I know it's about like news, like a news empire, right? Like Rupert Murdoch. Mayo on hot dogs. I like a little bit of mayo. I like ketchup and mayo mixed together. I really like it's like special sauce like from like burger places. I think it goes great on anything. Not a big fan of mustard, to be honest. I like ketchup. I like a little mayo on the hot dog. I don't know why. Some onions and bell peppers on top. I don't know, it's good to me. I like mayo on anything, to be honest. I love mayo. It's just so good. Bitch, my family's here. Yeah, Dave Chappelle. It's funny. Have you watched Mad Men? No, I need to watch it. I have a lot of shows to watch. I spent my entire life just rewatching The Sopranos a bunch of times. That's why I can make videos on this shit. But I'll watch Mad Men. I'll probably do a series review of that eventually. Okay, that is it for this one. 5 minutes. Let's go through these last ones. Paulie's Virgin Mary sighting. He sees the Virgin Mary at the Bing at the end here. Very spooky moment. Is it just in Paulie's head or is it in real life? I don't know. I don't know what it means necessarily. Other than Paulie was always superstitious, and I guess there's a whole kind of Madonna whore complex thing with like the Bing is where strippers work at, but Italians, they treat their wives like saints, and they prefer to, or at least gangsters, I guess, prefer to fuck strippers than their wife. So I don't know, but that's just what that means right there. I'm sure I would dig Mad Men. I love Matt Weiner. He's great writer on the show. Oh yeah, he killed the grandma. Wait, did he kill? Yeah, I think he killed the grandma before the sighting. So I think that's his wake up call that he's going to hell. Phil turns into a house. Okay, so let's talk about this. So when Tony and little Carmine go to talk with Phil and try to make a peace deal after Tony beats the shit out of Coco, Phil agrees to see them, but then he refuses to talk to them. He only talks to them through the window. I've read that the reason why is because Frank Vincent couldn't make it that day for shooting, and so they had to just add his voice in post. I don't know if I've never heard that directly from the actor or the staff, so I don't know if it's true. I think it might be apocryphal. I kind of feel like this is season 6 of The Sopranos, one of the last episodes. You would show up when they tell you to show up. But I don't know, maybe he had like a personal thing or something. But they couldn't get him, so you can't see his face, so people think that it's the house talking. But yeah, Phil has a superpower. He can turn into houses. It would have been nice when he was hiding out from the Sopranos. He could just turn into a house. Man, I want to watch The Wire, but I can't get past episode 1 and 2. You gotta push past it, man. Push past episode 1 and 2. It gets really good. I don't want to say when it gets. I mean, the show is slow. It is, but it's fantastic once you realize that The Wire is not about the characters. It's about Baltimore, the city. It's fantastic. It might be a better character drama than The Sopranos, if you count Baltimore as the main character. Season 2 is more slow than season 1. Season 1 gets fast-paced towards the end here. But the whole point of why it's slow is because that's just realistic. I mean, the cops are not this all-powerful organization. They're a bunch of guys. I don't know. I haven't finished the people on the season 2 reaction video are saying that like season 2 is really great once you finish the whole thing. So I don't know. I really loved season 3, by the way. But yeah, well, I don't want to talk too much about The Wire because this is a Sopranos video. But let's just get through the final point in this last minute. Heat death of the universe occurs at the end. The cut to black. Again, people are like, they want to find different meanings for what it means, and you know, it could just mean everything's over with the cut to black. Everything's done. It's kind of like symbolic of like, you know, how television is basically over. It's like a statement. Matt Weiner said that in an interview. He thought that David Chase was trying to make a statement that like television is over now that The Sopranos is over. Nothing else is going to be as good as this. The reason it cut to black is because David Chase ran out of film. Yeah. He only had like $12 to make the entire series. What do you guys want him to do? You know, film costs money. He didn't have anything else. Okay, so that is the Iceberg. I hope this was entertaining. I liked going through all these theories with you, and to be honest, what I love more is just this chat log right here. I like just talking with you guys. I could stay on for like a little while longer and just talk about it, but if any of you guys were like only here for the explanation of the Iceberg, that's pretty much done now. I might make this into a video later. We'll see. Or I might just leave it up as like a streamed video. But we'll see. Absurd Existence. I know I thought about it. Again, to be honest, I said this at the beginning. I like to save my edited videos for like analysis. That's what gets me excited about it. It's the same way, like I don't really like making like news videos where it's like, hey guys, I'm making a video because David Chase just announced that he's started work on The Many Saints of Newark 2. I don't know. I want to do analysis. I don't necessarily want to do just make easy videos that are just like news stories and stuff, and I slap on like a still image. I know I've done stuff like that before, for when like The Many Saints got delayed and stuff like that, but I don't know. And like I said, this is fun for me to talk about it with you guys. Like we're talking about a bunch of different things. We're talking about Oz, talking about Mad Men, talking about The Wire. It's fun for me to chat like this. I love interacting with you. This community is awesome. And we all have like a shared interest in all of these these critically acclaimed shows, which are all so great. I love talking about this because, to be honest, not a lot of my friends really watch shows like this. Boardwalk Empire, I'm gonna do that. I'll do just like my Wire videos, I'm reacting to the whole season. I'm gonna do that for Boardwalk Empire once I'm done, because I haven't seen all of Boardwalk Empire. I've seen a lot of it through YouTube clips, unfortunately, so I know what happens. But to be honest, I watched The Sopranos through YouTube clips before I got into the series. That's just kind of how I get exposed to shows. But I don't care about spoilers in stuff. I'll still enjoy the series, even if I know what happens, because it's the journey. It's not about just these exciting plot points. It's about the moment-to-moment character details that I really love. Devil Hunter. What shows am I thinking about doing for my episode-by-episode videos, like Soprano logs? Next is going to be Breaking Bad. That's going to come out. The first Breaking Bad video for the season 1, episode 1 is going to come out probably the end of this month. I'm going to finish all of Breaking Bad. I'm going to be rewatching The Wire during this time. And then I'm going to make The Wire episode-by-episode reviews once Breaking Bad's done. But again, I need to finish The Wire first and rewatch it multiple times to be able to make the same connections that I do with The Sopranos. Let's see here. Yeah, I've watched all of Breaking Bad many times, so that's why I'm doing the series review, because I know it really well. I will do Better Call Saul after The Wire, because I want to break between 2 Breaking Bad style shows. So it'll be Breaking Bad, The Wire, Better Call Saul, and then I don't know, Boardwalk Empire after Mad Men or something. I don't know yet. I'm not thinking that far ahead. Sopranos pinball machine. I want one of those. I have this really cool Sopranos picture. I'm gonna put it up. I haven't hung up decorations yet, but I'm gonna put it up here so it'll be in videos from now on. A lot of comments are coming in. Have I watched Malcolm in the Middle? Not all of it, but I watched some of it. Great show. Obviously, Bryan Cranston's first, what made him famous. Really well put together show. Criminally underrated, I'd say. Boardwalk Empire had quite a few boring parts, not enough humor, but the gangster characters are great. I kind of think that from the clips I've seen. Like I really like my favorite character just from the clips I've watched is Lucky Luciano. I love Vincent Piazza. He plays Hernan on The Sopranos, and that voice he does, I'm Lucky Luciano. He's so great. Can't wait to watch him. Cool, Kevin. Thanks for stopping by. The mid. I'm not familiar with the middle. I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's true. Bryan Cranston was on Seinfeld, which I should watch that show too. I've only seen episodes here and there, but that's an older show than I am, so I need to check it out. Goodfellas and Casino. I think I might do a Godfather video, but I'm going to compare it to the book, just like I did American Psycho. And I have another video for No Country for Old Men coming out the week after next. I like comparing books to movies, because it's cool for me to see the differences there. I love How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is a fantastic show. It's like Friends, which I didn't really watch Friends much, but it's like the meta narrative elements of How I Met Your Mother, of like the recurring jokes, the connections between episodes, makes it much more interesting to pay attention to than something like a typical sitcom like Friends. Yeah, No Country is great. I love the book, and I love McCarthy. McCarthy's my favorite writer of all time. Blood Meridian is the great American novel for me. No, I've not watched most Netflix shows. The only Netflix shows I've watched are Narcos, which I stopped Mexico after season 1. It got boring to me. Narcos. What are the other ones? House of Cards was great until the last. I didn't even watch last season. Then they got rid of Kevin Spacey. I was like, I ain't watching it. I need to watch Once Upon a Time in America. I haven't seen it yet. I know it's great. I love uh, this is bad. I'm blanking on his name. Sergio Leone, because Once Upon a Time in the West is my it's Sergio Leone did it, right? I'm not talking out of my ass, right? It's not Bertolucci. Bertolucci did Last Tango in Paris. Yeah, Narcos has the best theme music ever. I listen to that shit like on Spotify. Wire has the best theme song. So I to be honest, the Soprano theme song is a little bit lower for me than like some of those other shows I've watched. Way Down in the Hole is the greatest theme song I've ever heard. Season 1. So great. Irishman, maybe. I need to think of an interesting angle though. I mean, I could just make a video, but again, I don't like doing just like a bunch of people have covered The Irishman, and I need to do something different, or else I get bored with the video. Lilyhammer, I don't know. From the episodes I saw, it wasn't that great. Like it was like wanting to be like The Sopranos, but like not as well written. So I don't know if I'd do Lilyhammer. Bronx Tale, I need to watch that. I know it's a classic. I haven't seen it. I saw Donnie Brasco. That's fantastic. No, Anik or Ankik, I was saying is Once Upon a Time in America. That's Sergio Leone too. I'm almost sure. But I got kind of confused. I thought it was like Bertolucci for a minute, but I was like, no, that's Last Tango in Paris. A lot of fantastic. I want to make more films on like, if I was going to do more movies, I want to do them on like classic old movies, because that's how my channel got started. If you guys don't know, I love old movies, and they're not as popular to make videos on. So I've been kind of focusing on Sopranos stuff, but yeah, Bogart's fantastic. One of the great classics, Hollywood. Yeah, The Irishman, what I didn't like about it is, like, he looks too old even in the flashback scenes. Like, there's scenes, like, when he's, like, in the army, and he's, like, holding the gun, and he can't even lift it all the way up because De Niro's just so old. And I'm not, like, talking shit on De Niro. He's, like, on the Mount Rushmore of acting. He's fantastic. He's not just done gangster pictures. He's done all sorts of roles. He is, without a doubt, one of the top 10 greatest actors of all time. But he's just old. And, he can't do these young roles anymore. But my God, what a fantastic career. Meet the Parents, yeah. Deadwood. I would do Deadwood. The only thing is I don't like how it ended. Like, because it got canceled. And then I didn't like the movie. So I love Deadwood, though. It's fantastic. I'd love to do. I could do a series on it. I got many years of this shit to do, so like I could do all these series eventually. They're all Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, I love that show. I have not watched the latest season where they're in Ireland. I think it's out right now, right? But yeah, Always Sunny is fantastic. One of the greatest comedies of all time. Don't say that to Steve. I'm sorry, Steve. Between Robert De Niro and your roles on Blue Bloods and the Secret Life of the American Teenager, I gotta give it to De Niro. He's just he's done a little bit more, great stuff. Sons of Anarchy. No, I have not seen Sons of Anarchy. I know people tell me to watch it. People tell me to watch The Shield. I don't know. Sons of Anarchy, I don't know, the premise of like, biker gangs. I don't know. It didn't really seem that appealing to me. I should check it out. I know. I'm sure it's got great characters too, but I don't know. Just that context. I was like, oh, motorcycle gangs just didn't really interest me that much. I will never do Westworld. I hate Westworld. Season 3 is so boring. Season 1's great. Season 2 is less great, and then season 3 is boring as hell. Yeah, HBO fucks up a lot of their shows. I would do John Adams. That's a fantastic series. I would do Chernobyl. Rome is great, even though it's only 2 seasons. It deserves so much more. But I might check out Sons. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, Sunny has gone downhill a little bit. There's still funny episodes here and there, but the one with Mindy, the season, I don't remember what season it was, but the first episode had Dennis gone and Mindy's is there. I didn't like that season. I thought it was pretty weak. Sarah Connor Chronicles. You were going back, man. I saw parts of Sarah Connor Chronicles. I don't know. I'm so out of the Terminator loop. I wouldn't even know how to approach that show. Briganda. It's Russian. Maybe I'll check it out. My best friend, the one who I keep telling you guys is buying me stuff and telling me about Russian. Maybe I could get her to help me with that show. Because I know Russians make the best literature in the world, like Dostoevsky, Tolstoy. So I gotta imagine their media, like Battleship Potemkin is considered is the best silent movie of all time. So I'd love to check out more Russian films and series, because I'm sure they do amazing work. Those guys understand depression like no one else. Eastern Europeans, they understand that shit more than American writers ever will. No, never heard of Yellow Jacket. I can't say, David. Not too many. I've gotten better about like making the clips short so they don't get demonetized. But yeah, at the beginning, a lot of them were getting taken down. I had to edit them. Wilfred. I liked Wilfred. I don't. It's hard for me to watch like cringe shows. So like The Office, Wilfred, shows that like are about, humiliation and stuff like that. It's hard for me to watch those shows. But Wilfred was really great. I thought it was a really well done show. Russian Sherlock Holmes is fantastic. Is it literally Sherlock Holmes, but just Russian? I'd love to check that. I love Sherlock Holmes. Barry Lyndon with Tom Cruise. I heard that wasn't good. With Kubrick, I heard he did a horrible accent in that one. I love Kubrick, but I heard Barry Lyndon wasn't one of his better ones. Kino, what's a popular show you don't like? People got mad at me in the when I did the no spoiler review of The Many Saints of Newark, where I said that what do you call it? Better Call Saul kind of leans too heavily into fan service. I like Better Call Saul. I love it, in fact, but I have genuine criticisms of the show that I think most of the fan base doesn't share. And so people were like, no, Better Call Saul is perfect. Like, you can't say anything bad about it. And I was like, the Gus stuff is way too fan servicey. It doesn't add anything to his character, and it kind of takes away from the mystery of him. So I have problems with Better Call Saul. I can't think of any other popular show. I mean, I hate The Walking Dead, but I think that's a popular opinion. Eyes Wide Shut is great. That's a great Kubrick film. No, yeah, Tom Cruise was in Eyes Wide Shut, but he was also in wasn't he Barry Lyndon? The Irish guy? I don't know. I got too many movies on the brain. Maybe I'm mistaken. I forgot what film was called, but he did Tattoos in Prison. Are you talking about Eastern Promises? I want to check that one out. That's a great movie with Viggo Mortenstein, or however you pronounce it. Whenever I say Viggo's name, I always think of the scene from It's Always Sunny where fucking Mac like punches that girl, and he's like, Viggo Mortensen. He thinks that's the character's name. That one's so funny. I watched Barry. I thought it was boring, to be honest. I didn't really like it. I've not seen Vanilla Sky. Um, Full Metal Jacket is fantastic. Uh, what else? Star Wars and Game of Thrones had fan service. I don't watch Star Wars. I don't even get involved with that community. I just think anything after the first three movies are terrible, and so I won't even watch the new ones. I'm not gonna get like artificially mad at the movies just for views. 2001. It's a great movie. I should make a video on that. Get off chat and watch Once Upon a Time in America. Okay, I'll watch it. I've not watched a lot of movies, guys, because I'm just editing videos and just rewatching The Sopranos. I need to watch more stuff to become a better film critic, which is not a real thing, but I need to watch a lot of stuff. We'll talk for like another few minutes. I'm gonna dip out here. I'm getting really hungry. Blood In, Blood Out. Never heard of that one. Should check it out. Yeah, I do, Captain. Thank you for pointing out that I click my tongue a lot. I I tend to get a lot of saliva in my mouth. It's just how my body works. And I'm very self-conscious about that. So thank you for pointing it out. I don't watch Netflix animated shows, but I've watched all of Studio Ghibli, and I love all of them. They're fantastic. I don't really like anime in general, but Studio Ghibli is fantastic. The only anime I like is, this is so basic, but like Naruto. I think Naruto has great characterization. I like Death Note. I like Full Metal Alchemist. Just really normie shit. I don't get into like... I'm not into anime at all. Not into the deep stuff. Squid Game, good or overrated? Squid Game is a good fad show. Like Tiger King or... I don't know, Queen's Gambit, whatever these, you know, these fad shows which are just like, we should watch it because everyone's talking about it right now, but not a lot of depth to it. It's all right, but it's not a deep show like The Sopranos. I kind of want to watch it. I'm watching Cowboy Bebop. I'm almost done with it. That's pretty good. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be, because people put Cowboy Bebop up as like, this is the greatest show of all time. In terms of aesthetics, I agree, but in terms of the actual story and characters, I kind of expected more. But Bebop's all right. I wanted to check out Evangelion because it's so controversial, which I would just love to check it out. But Squid Game is good. It's entertaining, but it's like I said, it's not like a deep show like The Sopranos. So that's why I call it a fad show. It's something you watch once because everyone's watching it right now and talking about it. But I'm not gonna like rewatch it and like study the characters and make videos on it and stuff like that. I would kill for a Sopranos anime. I love those Sopranos anime openings. You guys might have seen some of my comments on those videos, but I think it's just so funny to mash up Sopranos and anime. I wish someone would. I wish Sopranos was more popular so that like some animator would just make a parody of it. That would be funny to me. You guys should watch the Sopranos Japanese dub. It's pretty funny to listen to. Man in the High Castle. I like Philip K. Dick. I've not seen the show. I want to check it out. There's always something else I need to check out. You know what I meant, Kill or Kill. Fuck you. Yeah, Tiger King's okay, but it's just like, it's something you watch once. You're not gonna rewatch it again. That's why I call it a fad show. Yeah, the animated shows are hilarious. No, I want to watch more Japanese directors, Ephraim. I've been watching a lot of Akira Kurosawa. I watched Seven Samurai. I watched Ron. I want to watch like Throne of Blood and stuff, but old Japanese film is interesting to me. Um, my favorite video games. I was into video games a lot as a kid, but as I went to college, I just never had time to keep getting into them and like keep like building PCs or buying consoles. So I play a lot of video games, but just old ones. Like I play the shit out of, Skyrim. This is cringy to say, but Minecraft. I like Stardew Valley. I kind of like very slow like clicking kind of like. I'm not into like Twitch shooters and shit. Although I love Dusk. That's one of the newer games I bought was Dusk, and that one's fantastic. I'm not good at video games, so I like video games where I can kind of like really plan out. I'm a Zoomer, John D. Coffee. You gotta understand, Skyrim is 10 years old. All right, it's old for me. Um, I like retro games too. Of like, I'm too young to have had like a NES or something like that. But like GameCube games, I like. I bought the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the new one that came out that has all the games built into it. Those are fun. Although I don't like the D-pad controllers, it hurts my thumb to play it a lot. But yeah, just not that into shooters and stuff. Occasionally, I like to play Call of Duty, but I'm not buying the new one, so I just play Black Ops on my Black Ops 2 on my computer because I have that one. Yes, the Skyrim Sopranos mashup videos from Pertinax, I think those are really funny. I would love to. I might have him on the podcast. I might invite him on the podcast if he wants to come on. But I'd love to talk to him about that. Those are funny videos. I'm trying to think of other games I like. I guess I get World of Warcraft. That's the big one. I was really into Classic WoW. I played it on private servers because again, I don't buy the new expansions, so I just play the old ones that I'm used to. I have 2 level 60s on private servers. Such a waste of time when I think about this, but it's before I started making videos. Then I had 2 level 60s on Classic WoW until Blizzard destroyed their own company with their incompetence. So I refused to play Season of Mastery, even though I kind of really want to. And then I started making videos before Classic TBC came out. So even though I was super excited about TBC, because that's when I started WoW, I never got a chance to play it because I can't devote hours to playing it anymore. I have to be editing videos. So that's what it is. But I'd love to stream Classic WoW and just because I like just like grinding. I like just grinding on games because it just turns my brain off. So maybe we could do that sometime. Maybe I could stream myself playing that and we could just talk in the chat about stuff like this rather than making it a normal video. Do you hate Dexter Kino? No, it's not a great series. It's like a 7 out of 10, but I don't hate it. I don't even hate the ending. I'm not gonna watch Dexter New Blood though. I don't watch cash-ins on shows that ended. Let's see here. Oz, yeah, I've seen Oz. I liked Oz. Not a masterpiece, but a pretty good show. Walnuts and Bestiality. That's a funny name. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. It's about to end right now. I'm about to turn off the stream. Screen Dream, how would I rank the Sopranos seasons? In terms of, I don't know, in terms of my personal enjoyment, because I can't think about my analysis of it right now, but in terms of my personal enjoyment, season 2, season 6, season 3, season 4, season 5, and season 1. That's probably where I would rank it. Thank you. I'm about to end the stream here, guys, because I've been talking for a while and we're losing viewers because this is boring. But thank you guys so much for joining me. A lot of you guys tuned out. I mean, I think at one point we had like 260, 70 people, which is fantastic. Okay, one last question. Biggest question: Goodfellas or Casino? Goodfellas. Casino is good, but it's just not as good as Goodfellas. Goodfellas feels more universal to me than Casino does. Um, but okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I need to go get something to eat here. But I'll make some more streams sometime because these are fun. I like talking with you all. Quick question before I sign off: would you guys, if I don't have like a topic like the iceberg to do, but we just chatted, would you guys be interested in that? Because I like I said, I really just like talking to you guys about different stuff. Awesome, cool. That's what they call it on Twitch, right? Just chatting. When they like, I'm not doing Twitch, of course. I'm not a video game person, but yeah, that'd be awesome. We could just chat. Maybe next weekend. I'll announce it beforehand, but yeah, there should be a set topic at least. Yeah, I could do that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can just set it about like movies or TV shows or something. Maybe I could do it for like The Wire and stuff when I finish that. But yeah, this is awesome. I love chatting with you all. So you keep posting good questions I want to answer. So will I do a Sopranos character tier list? That I thought about it. It'd be kind of hard because like, how would I rank them? Just like Tony, Christopher, S tier. Just rank them based on how much they appear because they're all brilliantly written. I don't know how I would do that, but maybe I would. I could think about it. My realtor always wants to chat. Get a good realtor. Mine was fantastic. Okay. I keep getting distracted. Sorry. That is the end of the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll do this again soon.